Hey, it's a Helmet Collector here, and today's video we're going to take a look at the 4-panel death card of Josef Lix. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and get started. So on the first panel here, we have those who fall for Germany are not dead, and then moving to the interior, going from the top of panel 2. For Germany's greatness, our unforgettable son fell in the east on October 20th, 1942, Josef Lix, cheese factory owner's son from Longelhen in the parish of Seekirchen, Gefreiter in an Infantry Regiment, mortarman, recipient of the Iron Cross Second Class, the Infantry Assault Badge in Silver, and the Eastern Front Medal. At the age of 22, he was laid to rest by his comrades in the Davitsa Heroes Cemetery near Voronezh. So, right off the bat, even without getting into a casualty record, really weird. We see the father's occupations for a lot of these soldiers fairly often. Usually they're farmers or occasionally, factory workers or something like that. But cheese factory owner's son is a new one for me, and hopefully I'm translating that correctly. I did a bit of digging to see if there was a cheese factory in Longelhen, but unfortunately I was not able to find anything. So if anybody is from that area and knows of an old cheese factory that used to be there, I'd be curious to find out. And also the note there that he was specifically a mortarman in an infantry regiment is also very unusual. What makes this card even more interesting is that I found a casualty record for Josef. He was born on October 14th, 1920 in Kostendorf, and was a member of the 4th Company of Grenadier Regiment 199, which is the List Regiment, and was subordinated to the 57th Infantry Division. Now, the List Regiment has come up in many of my videos over the past year specifically. It's a unit that I collect for and always try to keep an eye out for when I see those auctions come up. But the List Regiment was the unit in the German Army that was the successor to the 16th Reserve Bavarian Infantry Regiment, which was the unit that Hitler served in during World War I. So you'd think that because they were bearing the honors of this earlier unit that Hitler had been associated with, they would have gotten some kind of special treatment, but that really doesn't seem to be the case, at least as far as I can tell. They were awarded the right to wear a cuff title, which, generally only elite units were allowed to do, but that seems to have been about it, and they took some horrific casualties. Unfortunately, I don't have a unit history for the 57th because while one exists, I have not been able to find a copy of it, so hopefully one of these days I do. Now, Josef here specifically was killed by a gunshot wound to the heart at Rabochiy, which might be Rabochiy, near Kursk, and he is buried in the Kursk Bezdino Military Cemetery, Block 7, Row 34, Grave 2008. And as this is a unit that I do specifically collect for, I do have a lot of other cards. Going through those here, Ignaz Fleckinger was a Schütze in the 11th Company of Infantry Regiment 199 and was killed by an artillery hit to the left thigh and foot at Le Mont-Belou, France on June 5th, 1940. Xavier Hagenetter was an Unteroffizier in the 5th Company of Infantry Regiment 217 and was killed by a gut shot at Aumôtret, France on June 7th, 1940. Johann Thalhammer was an Obergefreiter in the 11th Company of Infantry Regiment 199 and was killed by a headshot at Korsov, Ukraine on June 29th, 1941. Alois Pregler was an Oberschütze in the 13th Company of Infantry Regiment 199 and was killed by a shrapnel strike to the back of the head at Polava, Ukraine on October 9th, 1941. Andreas Schumacher was an Obergefreiter in the 10th Company of Infantry Regiment 199 and was killed by a gunshot wound to the shoulder and another hit to the neck which fractured his cervical spine at Koroka, Russia on July 8th, 1942. In the booklet of the Gustav Hoffmann Shoe Company, we have Werner Bever, who was in the 2nd Company of Infantry Regiment 164, and was obliterated by artillery at Voronezh on September 17, 1942. Karl Freundorfer was a Feldwebel and Zugführer in the 13th Company of Grenadier Regiment 217, and was killed by a headshot at Boromya, Ukraine on August 14, 1943. Johann Auer was a Grenadier in the 3rd Company of Grenadier Regiment 217 and was killed by a head injury at Kaniv, Ukraine on December 4th, 1943. Johann Friedel was a Gefreiter in the 1st Company of Grenadier Regiment 199 and was killed by a shrapnel hit to the left upper arm, upper leg, and knee at Cherkasy, Ukraine on January 29th, 1944. And finally, Georg Scheurer, who was an Obergefreiter in the 3rd Company of Divisional Group 57 and was killed by a perforating shot to the chest on August 21st, 1944. And moving to the very bottom of panel 2 here, we have In Deepest Pain, signed by his parents. Panel 3, we have almost a full panel photo of Josef, and at the very bottom there, he was dear to us in life, let us remember him also in death. And moving to the back of the card here, panel 4. The pain of separation was already hard, But now our hearts are breaking. You died as a hero, too soon for us. We can never forget you. We can no longer offer you anything, no longer bring you joy, not even scatter a handful of flowers on your grave. We could not see you die and could not stand at your grave. Your grave is far away and our pain is deep. Now rest in peace, you faithful heart. So yeah, overall, really interesting card. Always good to find another one for a member of the List Regiment. Hopefully, like I said, one of these days I'm able to track down a copy of the 57th unit history so I can start talking in more detail about the actions they were involved in. But yeah, overall, I hope you guys all enjoyed the video. Please leave a comment down below. Love hearing from you. Thank you all for watching. Happy collecting, and I will see you all again very soon.